children of the night. What music they make.
They're all gonna laugh at you!
They're coming to get you, Barbara.
What's up?
I'm not gonna hurt you. I'm just gonna bash you pretty.
What did the five fingers say to the face? Slap!
Slap!
Welcome to Final Guys with our favorite final girl, Laurel Hightower, in the house.
Woohoo!
Psyched to be back.
Twice in 3 weeks. So lucky.
I know. That's crazy.
Never
Well,
thought
we'll
we'd
see
hear you say that, Jason. I like this new relationship you have. Just don't make him read a book. Then he's fine with you.
How's everybody doing? Hunter, Jason, what's shaking, guys? How's everybody up?
It's all good.
SOS. Same old shit.
Excellent.
Drinking Sapporo, so I mixed it up tonight. I'm feeling Japanese. I really
Apparently
think
Tim
so.
Meyer. Tim Meyer's been spotted on the back of a milk carton.
Joe's, that's the expensive milk.
Poor kid.
You got city milk.
It's like oat milk.
Oh, jinx.
Well, if it's a jinx, so one of you has to slap the other because this week's movie is a Shudder exclusive called Slapface.
By the way, that Dave Chappelle thing, I thought of that throughout the entire movie.
Oh, yeah.
Just kept going through my head.
When you guys sent the title Slapface, I thought you were joking at first that we were going to watch a movie called Slapface, but it's real.
Yeah. Would you watch it if it was resting slapface?
Of course.
Would you watch it if it was fat face?
How about bitch slap?
No.
That's not like HBO After Dark.
Yeah, fat face is like there's usually a tube at the end of that that website. So
And I have to credit his Twitter name is Lonely Tree in the Serengeti. It's like Willie TG. He's the one who came up with the resting slapface, so I stole it. I'm not trying to steal your intellectual property.
Oh,
well done.
He is not
Nobody knows
intellectual.
his real name. He's
But the tree's so
catfishing all
versatile,
of
it changes up.
Yeah.
It does. I like the way he does it. He's always on the run. Jack, should we announce something that we have on Monster Men? Like we came out of our cave?
Please do. It's a great idea.
Yes. So we finally came out with an episode. It's been a dog's age.
It's just Halloween.
Yeah. So we had Eleanor Wagner on, who is a lady Ghostbuster and author. So we talked about ghosts and even UFOs and Bigfoot. So that was cool. And then tomorrow we are interviewing the Addams family, not Gomez and Morticia, but the family who did The Deeper You Dig, mother, father, and their two daughters. And they have a new movie coming out on Shudder called Hellbender, which we haven't seen, but we'll wing it.
You dig? Is that the one with like the mom with like the clown face?
Yes.
Yes.
That was so good. I loved that. It was great.
Yeah, that's just a family that makes movies. They do everything. So it's pretty
Awesome.
cool. Yeah.
Yeah, they're pretty cool. So I can't wait for that.
Looking forward to talking to them. So the ghost episode, our guest runs Lady Ghostbusters in New Jersey. She's got 2 books about New Jersey hauntings and stuff. So she probably has been to Steelmanville Road and seen Bad Ben. And,
Yeah, we didn't ask her that.
and probably has exorcised the ghost of Tim Meyer.
And she's from the Bronx, so she talks like this.
Yeah.
We got
Hunter-
a haunting.
Yeah, haunting. He admired her use of the word haunting.
Haunting.
Wow.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Anything else?
We have drinking words.
Drinking.
All
words,
righty.
please.
Here we go, everybody. We got some
Questions.
words from Sheridan, who I'm surprised didn't cry like a baby that we were a minute late tonight. Jack, your words are cast, phone, and home, E.T. Mine are monster, virago, and nun. Hightower, or we'll call braid, slow, COVID, and house. Jason's, yours are short, Shudder, and game. And if any of us say burn, slap face, or bully, drink up.
I like how we all get our first names and Laurel gets Hightower.
Yeah, hey.
I
It
mean, it's
works.
such a cool last scene, and that's why I kept it. You know,
It is
I,
cool.
Last name.
I
Isn't
slapped.
Hightower the guy in Police Academy?
It is, yes, it is. He's representing our fair name, and I appreciate it.
I think it's also anyone over 6'4" is called Hightower, just automatically.
You can we're a little people. It's so
We
like,
people.
nobody cares when you're a chick, but my poor brother. All the low tower jokes, I think they're still going on.
Oh boy.
That sounds pretty funny, actually.
Yeah, that sucks.
He's like completely built. He's like really super muscular and huge, and he's like an ex-Marine. So it's like, okay, keep joking, sure.
Yeah, he got that way fighting that nickname.
Nobody
would say
tosses a
so.
dwarf.
I would say so.
All right. Then I think it's time for everybody's favorite segment, the news.
3, 2, 1. It's the news. Yay!
Not prepared. Pulls the trigger while you're talking over it. Jesus Christ.
Over the bumper.
Fucking mess.
That's so
It
good.
looks like, though, that possessed Ash is saying it. It's a good little.
Yeah, there you go.
God, we suck. Go ahead.
Everybody here knows Eddie Izzard, right?
Of course.
Take or death.
He was Grandpa in like the most recent Munsters reboot that failed.
Oh, not the Rob Zombie one. Thank God.
No, the one Jerry O'Connell was Herman.
Oh,
Portia de Rossi was the wife.
Herman. Herman.
Eddie Izzard, I don't know if you've known, but I believe he has transitioned.
Has he?
Yes. And he is going to be starring in a Dr. Jekyll movie where he's playing Dr. Nina Jekyll. So it's a modern retelling of The Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde with a Nina Jekyll. So I have no idea. I haven't really seen or heard from Eddie Izzard in quite a while, but I had heard something about this. So he's a spectacular actor.
He is.
So, and I thought that was interesting because, and I guess so. If he's transitioned, it's she now, which is interesting because what I've noticed too, though, because like she was in. This is why it gets confusing for me. Stay Close, which is like the latest like Harlan Coben adaptation, has Eddie Izzard playing a male attorney, and I just thought it was so odd that it's like right after she transitions. So I didn't know that she played the grandpa in Munster too. It's in the Munsters.
Well, Grandpa Munster happened a few years ago, so that
was a few years ago. Okay,
is Eddie still Eddie, or does?
Well, that's what confuses me.
Okay.
It's because it says Eddie, so there was no name change like
I feel like I need note cards to keep track of some of this shit. I have no idea what any of you just said.
Well, he used to do stand-up comedy dressed as sometimes as a woman or very.
I remember that.
Fantastically too. Like,
yes,
wore all of those dresses way better than I could. Also, I would like pointers on makeup from Eddie Izzard.
Well,
he's one of the bad guys in Mystery Men, which I've seen 1,000 times. I love that movie.
Oh man.
His comedy, because he does comedy about American history, and he's British, and he makes us feel like idiots that he knows so much more than we do. Guy's really smart. She's really smart. I don't know. Eddie's really smart.
There you go.
I'm interested to see where this goes because this is going to be something different and definitely compelling. So I'm looking forward to seeing what.
There's no way it can live up to the Dr. Jekyll scene from The Mummy, though. Nothing can live up to that.
No,
so I don't. Why even try?
What's the Dr. Jekyll scene in The Mummy? The one with Brendan Fraser?
Russell Crowe.
Tom
Cruise.
Yeah.
Russell Crowe.
It's Brendan or bust. Brendan Fraser.
So bad.
I can see it. Was that a remake, by the way, or was that just some other
reboot?
It was a reboot of
The Mummy.
Replacement.
Booted the whole concept in the ass.
Yeah, just don't watch it.
Hunter, if anybody on this podcast, I feel like you're probably the only one who has seen all of the Insidious movies.
Yes, I have. And I don't know. I can't differentiate one from the other anymore.
How many are
How
there?
many are there? Are there 3?
5?
I think there's 5.
What?
Okay.
No, there's 4.
Is the last one the key?
I don't know. but the 5th one is on the way.
Oh God,
Patrick
awesome.
Wilson, who's right now promoting Moonfall, which looks like a future so bad it's good movie for Jason.
That Halle Berry movie?
Is she in that? Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I saw the trailer
Ooh.
before Spider-Man, and I was like, "Oh my God, this looks good."
Yeah, Jackass kicked its butt in the box office. I know that.
I'm dying to see Jackass.
Me too.
He was asked about it because they've been asking about this for years, and apparently filming's going to start this spring. So,
I mean, I will say this: that first movie I saw in the movie theater, and it creeped me out. Like the first 3/4 of it.
It's a good movie.
The others are there. I mean, they're fine, but it's definitely there's definitely degrading in
yeah, I
quality
kind of
as
lost.
it goes on.
I think
I
saw
never watched the
second
first one. I've never seen the sequels.
Oh yeah, I mean, they're all right. You know what? They're better than a lot of crap that we watch. So, except The Key, that one's not good.
Were you gonna say something, Laurel?
No, I was trying to think about which one I like, because the Key one is the one that I remember too, and I can't remember if that's 3 or 4. But I feel like that one was actually better than like the predecessor. But since I can't keep track of which ones I've actually watched or which one was which,
That's it. They all become one big mishmash.
they do. They kind of do. Yeah.
Once they started talking about the further in the first one, I was like, okay, this is kind of dropping off a bit. And I was like, I don't know that I want to see any more sequels with this shit.
The further is infinite, man. Stories abound.
Further, man.
I still think that bringing back what's her name, the psychic. I thought that was really cool because like
Lynn Shay.
Lynn Shay.
Yeah.
Lynn
She
Shay.
dies in the first one, and then they do prequels, right?
Yeah, which I love. Well, plus doesn't she come back as like a ghost in maybe the second one?
Spoilers.
Yeah, what are you giving it away for?
Sorry.
Lynn Shay is the best. That woman is in the Hall of Fame for me ever since Kingpin. She can do no wrong. Her performance in Kingpin is one of the best I've ever seen.
Something about Mary.
Oh, she's just a legend.
She's the angry mother in Detroit Rock City. I love her.
She's got so many great roles, and her brother is Bob Shay, who's huge producer.
Made a couple movies in this day.
Yeah,
The worst one in that family is Hunter Shay.
By far. At least the least successful.
So Super Bowl commercials now get leaked before the Super Bowl, which ticks me off. I want to save them. But I think there's going to be a full-blown trailer for Nope, the Jordan Peele movie. But or maybe what I saw is what they're going to show. They have a teaser trailer for Nope. So you get to see a couple of shots from the movie. Right. However, 2/3 of this trailer, I don't know if you saw it. You can watch it now after if you want to check it out. It's scenes from Get Out, scenes from Us, and then the last 15 seconds of it is like 3 shots from the new movie. You see the
whatever.
I think it might be the guy from Get Out, and Glenn from Walking Dead is in it.
Yun? What's his name? Yun?
Yeah, Stephen Yeun.
Stephen Yeun. Yeah.
I would never name a movie a title where a critic can easily fuck me over with it.
I feel like if that's like a pop culture reference, I feel like I'm not necessarily going to stand up. I don't know how long we're going to be saying noped out of a situation.
I disagree, because I feel that's when somebody sees something like you watch Fear Factor and somebody's like, oh, they put a tarantula on a guy's face, and you go, nope. Like Nope is the hard stop on go into a haunted house and there's a little kid covered in blood on the stairs. Nope, I'm gone.
Were you going to go see this new Jordan Peele movie? Nope. Like, see, it's too easy. Don't do that. You're just taking yourself out by the legs.
I'm going to go see it because I loved his first one. I did not like his second one much at all, but he's 50-50 for me, so he gets give him another one.
Yeah.
I just hope he works on a story a little more, because he crushed it with Get Out. He just nailed the writing, and then the second one felt like, I don't know, it felt rushed.
Well, the first one, he just cribbed everything from Stepford Wives. So the second one, he had to come up with something original, and that's why it was Tupper.
Whatever, I still liked it.
I like the second one, but also I haven't seen Get Out, so there wasn't really anything to compare it to. I thought I thought that lead actress in Us was just she was good.
She was good, but we can make you not like that movie. We'll talk to you about it. We'll make you go, "What was I thinking?"
Don't listen to our episode.
We
So
pull
glad they
every
showed me the light.
we pull every thread, and it completely unravels.
Should you listen to old Final Guys episodes? Nope.
Nope. Should they get a Patreon account? Nope.
And the last piece of news, of course, is that Valentine's Day is around the corner. So this Friday is Joe Bob's Heartbreak Trailer Park Valentine's Day special.
It is
on Shudder.
I did not know that until last night.
February 11th.
Dude, I'm off Saturday because my wife and I, it's our 30th wedding anniversary. We're going away. So actually, I'm off the next day. I can go all night.
Yeah.
That's what I'm going to tell her the next day.
30th wedding anniversary? That's awesome.
Yep. We got married on Valentine's Day because it was a Friday and it was cheaper.
That's wise. That's why we got married on a Sunday. It was cheap.
Works out. Yeah. So it was all good.
Nice. I will be watching it. I will be feeling good because we're going to record 2 episodes of So Bad It's Good right before that. So
oh Jesus. Is Brian like behind you now? Does he go home anymore? Do you like have him there full time?
You know, sometimes I have to kick him out, but I'm bigger than he is, so it's not that hard to do.
we want an episode with you and him and Dave.
We've already done 2 of those. Clearly, you're not watching the show, you son of a bitch.
I have not, dude. I am on my 9th effing day in a row working nonstop.
We did Veronica for one of them.
You did?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Dave was pissed. He really hated it.
That's why me and him get along so much. That movie rankled me. God, I hate that movie.
Well, with that is all the news that's fit to print.
We have such sights to show you.
That wasn't
Hightower. No, that was good.
Yeah, fine.
Good.
You don't get rewarded for doing it right.
Hightower, we're going to go into what do we watch and that kind of stuff. And I'm wondering, did you do any homework? Are you prepared?
I did. And Jason was so nice to very diplomatically send me a message beforehand that said, "Have you thought at all about what you're going to talk about?"
Well, it was more because I'd usually get links beforehand.
Oh.
Whatever.
The show notes always have
diplomatically phrased. Then my bad.
Yeah, so that wasn't super diplomatic at all. I was like, "Yo, I need your shit."
He's not as nice to us.
I don't do any subtext or I don't ever take it to the next step on assumptions. So go ahead, right out there. Give me your links, Hightower.
No.
Well, then, if you are prepared, why don't you go first?
All right. From a film and TV standpoint, I've only done rewatches. I've been watching Archive 81, which I really like.
Oh yeah, me too. Not through it though.
Yeah, I'm not either. I think I'm on episode 4 or 5 or something. But I think just visually, it's really well done and it's very just different. So I'm digging it. And then I had to rewatch Identity for another podcast that I was doing because we're promoting our identity horror anthology. So I very lazily chose the movie Identity.
Yeah. Good for you.
Is that John Cusack?
Yeah, John Cusack.
I saw that once and don't even remember what happens in it. It's a good movie.
It is.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I feel like that's true. I think that's what happened to everyone. We all saw it in the early aughts when it came out, and we were all like, "Wow, that blew my mind." And now we're like, if you go back and rewatch it, it's good. It's still good, but you're also kind of there's issues here.
I think I was when I saw it.
Yeah, that's how I remember feeling, and I remember literally nothing about this movie. Nothing.
Well, then you could go through the twist all over again.
Damn.
Yeah, I don't remember the twist, definitely.
No, I have no idea. I just saw Amanda Peet was in this and some other actors. I don't remember any of that.
Where is Amanda Peet now? I haven't seen her in a dog's age.
I don't know.
She's great in Saving Silverman.
Why are these images so small?
They're from
the old time slideshow.
It's from the Wee Tower collection.
they know there's not much to see there, so they're just like, make it real small. They're gonna assume.
They don't want any spoilers.
Yeah, no spoilers. Too tiny.
So you don't actually recommend going back to it? Kind of.
I don't know. I mean, I think that you could, and especially again, like I remembered what the twist was, but I didn't remember much else. And it was also it was for the Necronomy.com. So it was like social commentary, which meant I really had to switch gears for Slapface. First I was like, well, maybe, oh, no, wait, wrong. I'm not doing social commentary here. Let's just watch Slapface. I kind of was looking at more of it. And there were a few things that, I don't know. Well, without, I'm not going to give away the twist. So it's kind of hard to, I don't know. I don't not recommend it.
Oh, glowing. It should be fun to hear you talk about this on this other podcast.
Laurel, quick question.
Here.
Laurel, how's the bourbon tasting?
So good. Like I tried it like actually before I went on that podcast. I was like, right, I'm gonna give this a shot. And I forget that like no one else who was on that podcast drinks. So like I like poured a big glass of it, started talking, I like almost started crying. I was like, guys, bourbon tastes good. And they're like, are you drinking right now? I'm like, yes.
Is that a rule?
Yes, I am.
It's gonna devolve quickly. And it did.
Yeah. We gotta wrap this up quick.
And the other thing, the John Cusack movies. The other movie I can't remember a thing about, that ghost movie with him and Samuel L. Jackson in the hotel room.
Oh, that movie I've seen several times. I like that movie.
That was Stephen King, right? Stay at 1408.
Yeah, 1408. That's a really good movie, actually. I've seen that a few times. I really like that.
I saw it once. Don't remember. I mean, I don't remember a thing about it.
That would be a good one to revisit. I recommend that one.
Love the sound of the bottle.
I love it. I'm not drinking tonight, so drink for both.
Time for 2 more fingers worth.
Well, let's go around. Jason, what do you got?
What did I watch? I watched yeah.
You didn't prepare at all.
I watched a movie on Netflix called Countdown, which is about an app you download on your phone.
Oh, yeah.
And it tells you when you're going to die down to the second.
Oh, I don't like that app.
When you hit that, you're toast. And the main actress isn't a big fan of finding out that she's going to die in a couple of days. So she tries to stop it. And if you don't do what you're supposed to do, like if you were supposed to take a flight, and that's when you're supposed to die. If you don't take that flight, the app tells you broke the user agreement, and then you start seeing weird shit, and your life goes a little sideways until the date on your phone comes up, and then you're screwed. This is a very
that's nice.
What's the right word for it?
Sounds like a ridiculous movie.
Crappy.
I actually kind of liked it. It was more than I thought. Mainstream. This is a very mainstream horror film. It's probably PG-13. I don't know what it was rated. It's safe. It's not gory. It's got a couple unearned jump scares. You know how much I love those. If somebody moves a sheet and it's supposed to be a jump scare, stupid shit like that. But every time there's a pivotal role where a character has to explain what's happening with the app or anything like that, or is this a demon? Is this bad code? What's happening here? They bring in a comedian. So Tom Segura is the tech guy. So he's Tom just Segura. Mercilessly shitting on them while explaining what the movie's about. And it's gold. And then they go to a priest because they think it's a demon or something. And he's explaining to them. And I don't remember which comedian it was. He's not shitting on them so much, but his delivery of these he's talking about demons and stuff. And he's just hilarious during it. So it felt to me like the director was aware that he's doing just a kind of a cheesy mainstream horror film and wanted to make parts of it that usually suck and are boring very entertaining. So I give a lot of credit for that. It almost seemed like a guy got a job and was like, okay, killer phone app, whatever. How can we make this more fun than it should be? And I thought they actually did a pretty good job. So
I'd watch it just for Segura.
I think that guy is hilarious. So his wife shows up a little bit in a cameo, and I think she's freaking hysterical, Christina P. So I would recommend this. It's, is it going to be your favorite horror movie of the year? No. Is it going to make our list? No. But it was fun. It was significantly better than I expected.
Wow, I'm shocked.
Wow.
The comedian thing went a long way.
Yeah, I can imagine.
I was going to say that's kind of like a Final Destination ripoff a little bit.
Oh,
To
yeah.
an extent, you know,
Oh,
but
But with Tom Segura.
both Tom
right, so makes it watchable.
with Tom
Yeah.
Segura as a like a
Yeah, but
phone
it has an
salesman
app.
/ hacker.
It's
not
an
anything
app.
like-
It's a totally different
It's
story.
totally different. It has an app.
Yeah.
Updated for our times.
Yeah.
Low. You're so ought.
That's why we brought her in, for the aughts perspective.
I was born in 82. What?
What?
Hunter, what about you?
Oh, the movies that I have watched this week. I'm going to start off with The Call, not the Halle Berry Dispatch movie. This is the Tobin Bell, Lynn Shay vehicle that's on Shudder now. It's from a couple of years ago. So it starts out really good. Gangbusters. Because Tobin Bell and Lynn Shay are husband and wife, and they live in this creepy house that used to be a daycare center. And one
Already
day
creepy.
you'd think, but one day some little girl goes missing at the daycare. They blame Lynn Shay. Their life is shit ever since. And the little girl's sister is now in her teens, and she leads a couple of guys who just fuck around with them constantly, breaking windows and doing shit to them. And she meets a new kid in town. By the way, this dude here,
Is that Slapface guy?
Is that Slapface,
that's
brother?
Slapface's brother. I
Oh.
watched both these movies the same night, not knowing that he was in The Call. It was kind of freaky.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's a Mike Manning.
Yeah, little Mike Manning. So something happens to Lynn Shay. This is early in the movie. It's not really a spoiler. So she hangs herself. And Tobin Bell calls these four morons into the house because she left something for them in the will. And all they have to do is go in this room and take a 1-minute phone call that's coming from a phone in her coffin from the grave.
What?
Sounds like it could be cool. It's not. It's set in the 80s, which I totally, the main girl, I loved her hair, loved her outfits in this movie.
Yeah. Laurel, next time you come back, can you do this?
Yeah. Can you crimp your hair?
I can try, but it's just there's a fuck of a lot of it, so I'm definitely going to be late.
I used to crimp my hair when it's down my ass. It just takes a while. You could.
I think I crimped it once, like when I was like that age, you know.
Dude. See, you were too young in the 80s to go to metal concerts.
Definitely.
I was at the right age, and there'd be 3 hours of crimping, trying to get your feet in those jeans with all those rips in them, and toes getting tangled in the webs. Ugh.
I
Crimping
I
your
was
hair.
a rave kid. I did the 90s. I was a rave kid. I went to see Phil Anselmo. I saw
Nice.
Cradle of Filth.
That's where
Trying
we
not
used
to
to
go
rock
into-
Jack. So yeah, if you The Call, there's better ways to spend your time. It's the first maybe 20 minutes are good, and then it just gets more and more ridiculous, and it's actually kind of boring.
Is the call from the coffin like a cameo from Lynn Shay? Hey, it's Lynn Shay. Remember me from
It did make me think.
Insidious with the key? Remember that one?
Did you hear about that guy from Ireland who died, and in his will he had somebody put a recording of him, and so when they lowered his coffin, you hear him, "Get me out of here! This isn't a joke. I'm alive."
I've heard of that gag.
Yeah, and then you hear everybody standing around the open grave laughing their asses off. It's hysterical. So
I appreciate that.
yeah, so that's better. That YouTube clip, if you could find it, is better than this movie. Yeah, this was a movie that had good start, good intentions, and it just poor execution, unfortunately.
I just want to watch it for the contents of the call. Like I got to know what the call was about.
That's the worst part. That's when it starts to get really shitty. You're like, oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Tim Meyer is ordering the Steelbook as we speak.
No, he would just reach over.
It's
you mean
already got
Call? You know, I kind of like that movie.
Yeah.
Well, my first entry in what we watched was recommended by two different final guys, Tim Meyer and then Hunter Shea. Brand new cherry flavor on Netflix.
Good man.
And you both were right. This is awesome.
Yeah, I raved about this like 2 weeks ago.
Did you?
Yeah.
You get no credit.
And all three of
it
them.
was Hunter Shea and Tim Meyer. Nothing
That's
about
right.
Jason Brent.
Yeah.
Nope.
I'm sorry. I forgot you because I remember Tim watched it a long time ago.
Yes.
Yeah,
he was
I
the
watched
first.
like literally 2 weeks ago.
What did I watch 2 weeks ago?
Oh, dude, like
You don't know what the show. Anyway, well then
You watch your cholesterol go up.
This is great. It's just the worst named thing because I'm in my office trying to tell people about it, and as soon as I say it's called Brand New Cherry Flavor, nobody's gonna watch it.
Yeah, I know. It sounds CW-ish or something. I don't know.
But I'm like, just watch the first episode. The last 5-10 minutes of it, you're not going to be able to stop watching it after you see that because it's unrolling like any other show. Girl moves to Hollywood. She's trying to sell her movie. She partners with this guy. He screws her over, and then she plots her revenge, and then things go sideways, and there's no way to explain everything that's going on.
By the way, one of the images, one of the zombie-like guys, the biker guy, he's from Elf. He's the mailroom guy with Buddy.
Oh man, I love that guy.
I'll never forget when he said,
"Years old, no one listens to me. You got great ideas."
And we're looking at. Well, I remember that movie came out like he's not 26. That's a rough 26.
He's working in the mailroom. He's been in prison. What do you want?
I stopped showing the images there because I didn't want any spoilers for that show because things are so crazy. You should just experience it.
Yeah.
Catherine Keener is awesome in it.
She is.
And the lead girl, Rosa Salazar, is
awesome.
She just carries the whole thing.
I love her. She did an animated series on Amazon. I can't remember the name of it now.
Wasn't she the Alita Battle?
Yep.
She was Alita Battle Angel too, yeah.
Yep. I closed the window, but the guy who did Brand New Cherry Flavor, is it Nick Antosca, something like that?
Nick Antosca.
Who did
yeah, you know.
Damn it. The anthology show. Each season was a
on
new
Sci-Fi. I know.
God,
I can't think of it either.
It's killing me. Anyway, this is his second show that I know of, and the guy is amazing. This dude knows horror. Now I have to look it up because it's going to piss me off.
I know. I just always think Butcher Block, but that was the name of one of the seasons.
One of the seasons, yeah.
The only people that I've recommended this to that will watch it are other horror fans. Anybody who's not a horror fan, I'm like, it's not necessarily, you don't have to be a horror fan to enjoy this.
No,
but the name just scares them away. Where I explain it to a horror fan, they're like, okay. Then they come back and they're like, oh yeah, this is great. So
yep,
yeah.
As Jason would say, my wife's not a fan.
Sorry,
it's like a show with chicks that's something about cherries. They'll be all over it. Just don't give them the whole name. It's chicks and cherries. I don't know.
Chicks and cherries.
That's a good idea. Just say Rose Salazar doesn't wear a bra the whole movie.
There you go. You gotta know how to sell it. Know your audience.
It has one of the most interesting sex scenes you'll ever see in anything.
Old. I haven't seen it yet, so I'm gonna credit you and Hunter, and I'm gonna say shit about Jason.
Yeah, I didn't know how to feel.
God, Jason, why haven't you watched it?
The worst. His other show is Channel Zero.
Channel Zero,
also amazing. So this dude is killing it. But yeah, that name's not the one to show any favors. You're right, Jack.
Good stuff. All right, Laurel, what do you got?
Well, the only this is sad. I have to go back and watch, check my watch history, and I don't really watch anything. I don't know what I do in the evenings, but
you probably pass out.
Strong chance there's that. I've been rewatching Supernatural, but everybody's seen Supernatural.
That is a huge undertaking. Holy shit. It's like 15.
It isn't. I'm not going to go very far on it. I'm a big Jeffrey Dean Morgan fan. But it's I feel like once it gets into the nothing but demons storyline, I'm just I like the one-off legends and ghosts and shit.
I think I bailed once they defeated Satan the first time.
Yeah, me too.
It does seem like that would take the joy out of it, I did get so if anybody's read Crossroads, there is when I originally wrote it, I kind of made a reference to the show. No, I didn't. Shut up from a copyright standpoint. But anyways,
Yeah, really.
I changed it, but it's supposed to be like very tongue in cheek, like obviously a reference. For example, like when you watch the Penguins of Madagascar and they eat cheesy dibbles, supposed to be Cheetos. I don't think anyone's going to be fooled there. And I got a really bizarre like tweet from someone who tagged the CW in it. And they were like, well, Laurel Hightower, guess you should have. Why didn't you just name them Sam and Dean? Wonder what the CW thinks about this. And I'm like, they give
Just be like, fuck you, narc.
I just didn't respond, but I was like, this seems so aggressive.
Yeah,
Like,
who was that dickbag?
just some chick. I never responded to her, but I'm like, I actually work for an intellectual property attorney, so.
Well, hold on, because she's coming on right now. Jason, bring her in.
That's cool. I have to say her, but yeah, I mean, Supernatural is about the only thing I've been watching, but I've been reading a lot, and so I read a really cool one called Maiden by it's T.C. Parker, who's really, really fantastic British writer. She's excellent, and Ward Nerdlow, which is one of the pen names for Ed Lauren. So Maiden is like, it's like it's a mermaid thing, but it's absolutely horrific, like really gross and scary and awful. Would highly recommend. Really good.
Okay.
Yeah, I like Ed Lauren a lot.
What was the name of the book again?
Maiden.
Maiden. Okay.
Don't touch her maidenhead.
Did you hear about the?
But then he goes ahead and does. I'm just saying.
Did you hear about the Supernatural prequel that they're working on?
No.
They're going to do a prequel about their father when he was younger, and Jensen Ackles is going to narrate it.
Oh. So they're probably not going to get Jeffrey Dean Morgan to play him as younger, though. So I'm out.
Our man Tim Wagner writes those books.
True.
Oh, that's right. I forgot that.
Yeah.
I bet that pays pretty nicely.
You know what? We should ask him if we can see his W-2s.
His WBW2s.
What's your 1099s look like, son?
Jason.
I watched What Lies Below. It's a movie I had not heard of. It just kind of popped up on
I watched that.
It has Mina Savari. One of I get all the
Minas
mixed up. Mina Savari. Okay, I was right. I get all this. I call them kids. They're like in their 40s now.
Yeah, it's been a long time since American Pie.
So she is a daughter of around, I don't know, 18-ish. And she goes to visit her mom at some kind of cabin in the woods on a lake place. And her mom's new boyfriend is there. And he's some super hot dude that she falls in love with. He's a scientist and all this. But as she's around him more, I got to be careful. There's some spoilers in the screenshots. We'll just
it's only like
show the picture of him coming out of the lake.
Yeah. We'll just do the dream of it. Yeah. So this Adonis is there, and she's she likes him, but she starts seeing some weird stuff about this guy, including him going for a jog, coming back, and when he thinks no one is looking, he takes his shirt off, wrings the sweat out, and drinks it. I don't think that's normal behavior.
No.
So things start to go, it's the typical stepfather, new boyfriend, what's his deal movie. But this one has kind of a twist that goes on throughout it that changes it a little bit. So I saw this wasn't rated super highly, but I thought it was pretty decent. And I really liked the ending. I thought the ending 100% made this. Because like I said, the first 3 quarters is kind of just standard territory for this kind of story. But it goes there towards the end. And I dig it. It's definitely a good Netflix kind of movie.
You like the ending.
And you didn't remember that I saw it, so.
Well, wow. I never remember the titles of what you watch. I just know it's vampires with big boobs. That's the only thing I can ever really remember.
Sometimes I write them down on my pad here.
Like the boobs are big enough. Write them down.
Totally. Well, that's why we watch Joe Bob.
Hunter, what do you got?
All right. So, you know what? All right. This is perfect. Good lead in here. I watched this movie. It's on Shudder. It's The Witch Who Came from the Sea. remember Shudder like a few weeks ago loaded up a bunch of movies from the 70s and had these cool,
Yeah.
kind of like Dayglow, like
Yeah, I've
poster
seen
art.
the thumbnail.
So it's from I'm pretty sure the 70s, and it's about this woman Molly, who has a sister with 2 young sons. 2 young sons love Molly so much they love her more than her mother. Except Molly's a bit of a drunk and a bit of a slut. There's a lot going on with Molly. And she works as a waitress in this bar, and she sleeps with the bar owner, and his name is Long John. I kid you not, and constantly refers to him as Long John. There's a lot of muscle men pound. Anyway, basically, it's like kind of like a slasher movie with a lot of sex. Like she has a threesome, an S&M threesome with 2 football players who are about to be in the Super Bowl. And she's Molly. Molly is naked a lot in this movie.
Oh.
Like a lot. And at one point I looked at my wife, I said, I am both turned on and confused by the shape and hue of her nipples.
Wow.
Jason, can you find a screenshot of the nipples so that we can...
Yeah.
Just watch the movie.
Right on.
They're there all the time. They're there all the time. So yeah, it's like Molly's basically an alcoholic psycho killer in this movie, but there are parts where I don't think she realizes what she's doing, and we don't realize. It's not good. I know Wikipedia says it's a general. Look at that poster. That's like a Conan the Barbarian cover.
That is amazing.
Yeah. Wow.
Wow.
Nothing like what you're going to see when you turn that.
Can't see her nipples though.
No, you can't.
Is she ever look like this in the movie? Because that's badass.
No, she looks like Carla Tortelli from Cheers. And she's a bartender. She's a waitress in a bar. So it was a definite, if you're into like Carla porn, this is definitely your movie.
Me too, Tina. Me too.
I'm glad I watched it because she did something to some guy's dick in the movie. Like she's doing all kinds of crazy shit. Yeah, it's out there. I would suggest you watch this not alone. Watch it with friends. Watch it with plenty of booze. Maybe watch it on SBIG, and you'll have a very good time with it. Watch it alone or with your wife, looking at some of the woman's nipples the entire time.
So if I go to a Super Bowl show, Super Bowl party, like, hey, at halftime, you guys want to watch a little?
Slip this in, exactly.
Witch who came from the sea.
When there's 1 more minute left to go in the game, pop it in.
Yeah.
Did Shudder make some kind of distribution deal where they got 8,000 Italian movies for $45? Because
I think they got them for nothing.
There's so many on there. It's crazy.
But yeah, the witch who came from the sea. You'll never look at her the same way again.
Well, I did not watch a movie that was anything like that. I watched a very family-friendly, dare I say, kind of a kids movie.
Martyrs?
That my good friend Jason Brandt watched recently called Ghostbusters Afterlife.
Hey!
And some of the stuff you said about this, Jason, I'm going to echo, but I don't, maybe with a little bit of a different twist. I think my general thing is like, it's okay. It's a totally different tone than Ghostbusters. Ghostbusters was a flat out comedy with sharp, rapid fire jokes, some adult stuff, obviously, the powers of Bill Murray and Dan Aykroyd and all them.
Mm-hmm.
That you couldn't even capture a second time. The second movie isn't as good as the first one. It's got some nostalgic to it. This is like a kid's movie. It's kind of like Stranger Things, a supernatural adventure. It even has one of the kids from Stranger Things in it. And it's kind of got kind of a predictable plot. They move to a Midwest town. The older brother's trying to fit in with the other teenagers, gets a crush on a girl. The younger daughter's kind of a nerd and she's figuring things out. And she's obviously like a little Egon. And then a lot of Ghostbustery things start happening that are callbacks to the original movie. So there's definitely a lot of love and reverence for it. And so you're going to enjoy those. And Paul Rudd is great. So the whole thing is fine. And then the last act of the movie is where all the real, it gets you in the feels. They do some nice stuff with callbacks and references and guest appearances.
Yeah, I saw on the IMDb page.
Yeah,
Thanks,
that's why I
Jason.
just took it down. I just remembered.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Everybody knows by now. If the Spider-Man movie didn't happen, this would have been the big reunion thing that everybody was talking about. But as far as I thought it was fine. It's almost like I wish that you could take the the recent remake with all the women and this and combine the best elements of both of them, because you had very talented comedians in the 2016 one and kind of more of a formula in line with Ghostbusters, but too much, why reboot it? Put it in the same universe. But I like how they took this, was like, it's 50 years later, you're in a different area, people's memories are a little foggy as to what happened back then. Maybe somewhere in the middle, but this movie was fine, but it's just not as memorable as, like, it's not going to be something that I'm going to watch as many times as I watch Ghostbusters, but it's fine. It's a nice little movie.
No,
Maybe young
it's not
kids
Ghostbusters. Nothing is Ghostbusters. Nothing's ever going to be. But this is the second best Ghostbusters movie. I like this more than the second one.
But you never know. This could be like the Ghostbusters for younger kids. We're gonna love it.
That's the beauty of this one, is it's gonna be a good movie that the kids are gonna enjoy it, and then there's links back to something their parents love. So it's not as heavy-handed as The Force Awakens, where you watch that movie and you're like, that is like beat for beat Star Wars.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
This is more like, it's more like a sequel with specific callbacks. It's Force Awakening a little bit, but it's not a total member berries kind of thing.
What kind of age range do you think? Like, I've been dying to introduce Tiny to Ghostbusters.
How old?
But like my husband is very like, no, because he's not a horror person at all, which Ghostbusters is not horror, but I can see some of the imagery from like the original couple ones being like disturbing to a 4-year-old. So
yeah,
4-year-old.
Jack, I'm asking you to make a call on my parenting.
You're asking the guy without children.
Force too young.
Yeah, I probably wouldn't. It's not as scary as the first one. The first one has a couple scenes that are actually fairly intense. This doesn't really have much like that. But 4.
Maybe start with the Ghostbuster cartoons.
Yeah.
He was not interested. He didn't think those were very interesting at all.
Really? The real Ghostbusters. Damn.
He's into DuckTales, though, so I don't know how to feel about that. But.
Scrooge McDuck.
Like old-time DuckTales? Or is there a new version?
Disney. Well, there's probably a new version, but we were watching the old ones.
DuckTales.
When I was in high school, I would come home from school, and I had like a half hour before I had to be at the supermarket I worked at, and I would have like a bowl of cereal, and DuckTales was on it right at that time. So I watched DuckTales like all the time while eating cereal, and then I always missed the end of DuckTales because I had to leave. But
wow. I thought when you were a kid, when you get home, you turn on the radio, wait for the tubes to warm up for Little Orphan Annie to come on.
The Shadow was great. I was late to work on those days.
Remember when that War of the Worlds first came on the radio? We were so scared.
I had to go off and sell metal for the cause.
I was stripping pipes out of abandoned buildings so we could beat the Japanese.
Oh, God. All right. What else you got, Laurel?
Let's see. Well, so I also read something really cool called A Sincere Warning About the Entity in Your Home by Jason Arnott. Right? Look behind you.
Yeah.
But it's really cool. It was recommended to me by a friend of mine, and it's written. It's not epistolary because it's just more like somebody, I guess it is because it's somebody like writing a letter, but it's just all one letter. And it's pretty creepy. It gets into it pretty creepy, like it, and he's written it in such a way like that you could almost apply it to just about any home. So he also apparently does like personalized ones where he'll, put enough information in for it to like really be about somebody's home, which apparently people inflict on other people instead of themselves. But it was good. It was really creepy. The ghost elements were very like get under your skin. And then kind of the body horror type reveal was really like Yeah, that's brilliant.
Oh, nice.
So that's the, and it's a really quick read. It's a really quick read, but that's one that I would definitely recommend. It's creepy. It's different. Yeah, that's a good one. I'd recommend it.
Laurel, you're on Final Guys now. So when you describe a quick read, how many number 2s do you think it would take to finish that book?
Like dude number 2's probably
Dude 2s.
Probably 2. Dude 2's probably 2.
Two dude 2s.
Wow, that's a real quick read.
4 lady 2s.
I feel like there's got to be some differential here. Gotta really specify. I work for lawyers. Okay, we need details.
Yeah. Okay.
In case you don't know, don't borrow books from Hunter. Ever.
I will not. I will not.
I
So
take it with me everywhere.
You work in an office and like there's an office newspaper and some asshole comes out of the bathroom, throws it back on the communal tab. You're like, fuck, we need a pile for used newspapers.
In the 90s, when I worked for the phone company, every stall was full of newspapers and books that would just sit there forever, collecting urine, feces, whatever. And people would just pick those papers up and read them. You're like, oh, God.
It's like the same copy of Cosmo in women's bathrooms. It's like, who's reading this shit?
I know.
My first job out of college, I worked at an HMO in Boston, and I would get the Boston Globe every day and read it on the train, and then I'd have it there. And this guy in another department used to stop by and ask if he could borrow my sports section. And I thought he was going to read it at lunch. And then one day I saw it, and he would take it and put it in an inner office mail envelope and then go into the bathroom with it.
Oh.
So
the envelope is a nice touch. That is a nice touch.
It wasn't nice, but I was like, you know what? You can keep it.
Yeah.
We used to have a guy that would always eat chips. Like he'd be in the store. Yeah. I'm like, what?
Why is in the bathroom?
Yep. Chips are going in as yesterday's chips are flying out. It was like, what is going on in there?
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay, so what I watched this week was
The Toxic Avenger.
I actually didn't watch anything
Human
else.
Centipede.
Feeder.
I played a VR game, Resident Evil 4 VR. And I think I've told you guys before, movies don't really scare me much anymore. I feel like I'm always chasing the dragon with that. But
yeah,
video games can still do it if they're done really well. And VR in particular is shit your pants scary sometimes.
Wow.
This, I didn't get to play it long enough to get to any of those really crazy moments, but it was intense. I mean, as soon as zombies start coming at you and you have very limited ammo, it's intense. So I didn't get to finish it. It's a long game. My dad is actually the one who has it, so I don't know when I'll get to play it again, but it was so much fun. I'm going to end up buying it because it was awesome. So that was on my on his Oculus VR headset. I think it's called Oculus. I can't remember which one it's called, but anyway, Resident Evil 4 VR. If you have one of those, check it out. It is intense. Loved it.
I like it.
Hunter.
Okay, I watched another movie on Shudder. It's called Rose Plays Julie. Have you guys seen that thumbnail? What? Rose Plays Julie. It's a terrible name, but it's not actually. Once you see the movie, it makes kind of sense. This is a serious movie, by the way. This is like very well done. The acting is excellent. It's Irish, I do believe. If I watched it a while ago. I want to read this just to do it justice. Rose is a veterinary student at university in Dublin. There you go, Irish. Which made me think of the movie Raw, which she was a veterinary student. Adopted as a young child, Rose's adoptive mother has recently died, and she's begun looking into who her biological parents are. She discovers her mother is an actress named Ellen who lives in London and travels there to meet her. Rose calls Ellen on her mobile phone and reveals her birth name is Julie. Ellen realizes who she is. She also follows Ellen to a film set and is noticed, but quickly walks off. So basically, the basic premise is, it's a girl looking for her real mom.
Sounds like a drama.
It's a drama. It's got Littlefinger in it.
Littlefinger.
And he's great. We already know how good he is. The drama between the three of them is beyond excellent. It's tense as hell because you just never know what's going to happen with these three relationships. The horror part really comes in kind of into the very end. And it's not like horror that you think like, oh, body horror, slash and whatever. It's just the way the situation is handled. You're like, oh shit. It's a really good movie. It's a serious movie. Not like the usual claptrap that we expose ourselves to.
Slapface.
I wasn't looking at nipples and all kinds of other crazy shit.
Nipples with weird color grading or whatever they did.
Yeah, loses
Strange
points
hue.
for me with that.
Does their nipples have a pinkish hue? So,
You just have to adjust your color.
You did not just do.
Oh God. So, yeah, if you're in the mood for something really, it's high art horror or high art, even
Elevated.
Elevated. It's elevated.
It's a Lutsky horror.
It's Lutsky.
Eyebrow.
Lutsky would love
Yeah,
it. It's the interplay of broken people. Speaking of that, I just got his new book, by the way. I'm bringing that with me when we go away.
Cannibal Creator.
And I'm going to tell you all how many number 2s it took to finish the book.
Oh my God, that's hilarious. It's the interplay of broken people.
I should do a Patreon exclusive where it's just me reading those books while I do my 2s.
Dozens of people are waiting for that.
They need a scale on. They need a thing on Goodreads for that.
Books and 2s. Books
Instead
and 2s,
of like your
everybody.
progress on Goodreads, it'd be like, how many dumps did it take you?
Don't rate in stars anymore. Little turds. Just
My God, it was 937 dumps.
I need brown salmon.
Colon is falling out.
Well, my final entry for tonight. I know Tim saw this one. I don't know if the rest of you guys have. I can't remember.
Do you know who Tim is, anyone?
Who is Tim?
Mm-hmm.
Lucky, which is the Brea Grant movie. Where it's on Shudder.
Wasn't that did we do a whole episode on that, or am I wrong?
If we did, I wasn't on it because I just saw this movie.
If we did, I don't remember it.
Yeah, I remember watching it and talking about it.
This doesn't look familiar.
This is the one where, like one day, this guy tries to break into this couple's house, and they fight him off. And I'm probably getting a little bit of this confused, but basically the husband's like, "Oh, that's the guy who tries to kill us every night," all like nonchalantly. Yeah. And she's like, "What are you talking about?" And it turns out it kind of on a Happy Death Day kind of way, but it's not a time loop. Like time is continuing, but every night when they go to bed, this guy tries to break in and murder them, and then they have to basically like kill the guy, and then it happens all over again.
Mm-hmm.
It's a pretty good movie. I think it's going to be one of these movies that some people are going to really love, and it's going to piss off a lot of people. I just found it to be like entertaining, but like not earth shaking. I thought there was some pretty interesting ideas, some stuff pacing problems for me a little bit, but why I think it's polarizing is because there's some of the subjects that they deal with are kind of violence against women, gaslighting, and other kind of issues like that, where some people are going to be like, anything remotely like that is, oh, that's so heavy-handed. I don't need this crap. Oh, this is so woke. And then other people who lean into it are like, oh, this is the greatest thing ever. We've got to listen to it. And I'm just like, no, I thought they did a pretty good job. The execution was okay. It wasn't the most entertaining movie, but it was definitely interesting. But I wasn't like angry at it either. I don't know if you guys were.
I saw it. Yeah, I wasn't getting on my soapbox after that movie.
Was it on Shudder?
Yeah,
it was. Yeah,
I think it's worth a watch.
So this is what I'll say about it. With Jack, I think that's a really good assessment of it. As far as why it's polarizing. I will say that I think that part of the reason a lot of viewers don't necessarily connect with it is because and this is and I actually was on a podcast and talked to Natasha Kermani, the one who directed this. And I've spoken with Bria Grant. And look at me name dropping. My bad.
Yeah,
Anyway,
really.
Wow.
Bria Grant is super talented.
By the
so-
way, and here you are talking about poop.
Yeah. And
Welcome to
what
the
are you
bottom.
doing here?
I have many facets. And I'd like, I'm a boy mom, and I'd like to say, oh yeah, well, that's made me this way. I made him this way. But in any case, so with and this is said like without judgment, but I think the reason why some viewers have trouble connecting with it is because they have a hard time suspending reality in this. And if you go into it with the knowledge that this is actually what it's like to be a woman, in the sense that like you totally will get a cop who will look at you and say like, but have you tried mace? Well, I don't know, motherfucker. I've got a 9mm and that didn't help. Try the mace, and the whole like disbelief thing and all that. So I won't get on my soapbox about it, but and also, I mean, again, like when I recommend it to people, I tend to say, look, if you're looking for a horror movie that's going to act like a horror movie, you're not going to want to watch this. This is not that watch, because yeah, from a pacing standpoint, absolutely. And it's not going to be the same, it's just not going to be the same experience that you're looking for it. But in a sense of just like really getting how fucked up it is, how fucked up it can be to be treated in, in situations like this, and in just the assumption that this is how daily life should be, it's really on point. And so I really enjoyed it. But again, I mean, that's very much a perspective thing. And also really get that, sometimes you just want to watch horror that's fucking horror. So I will not stand on my soapbox, but that's the chick
I think
perspective.
that's a great accent than what I just said, because when you shed that light on it, I even immediately just appreciated it more, because you're right. Throughout the movie, there were definitely moments where somebody said something, and so even when she wrote a book and he was like, "Oh, you're really lucky," she's like, "What do you mean? I worked really hard on this."
Yeah, I love that part. That was really good. Slap.
All right, is that good?
Yeah, no, I was just going to just from what Jason said was whichever movie you were talking about earlier, where it was like the comedians delivering stuff. There's actually, this is mostly a cast of comedians, which I thought worked really, really well. Especially the chick that plays the sister was really excellent. Like, she was great at playing that role, and then her delivery was fantastic. So I just thought that was an interesting choice on the way to deliver that stuff. And now I will be silent about one of my favorite movies.
Oh, that was good. It's better than what Jack said.
It is. I think you're right, though, that going into it expecting just like a traditional horror movie is not the right mindset to go into that movie.
Because I think sometimes too, people get the impression it's like going to be a slasher, or like a revenge, like Last House on the Left kind
I
of
was
thing.
expecting Happy Death Day or something in a
and it's
Groundhog's
definitely
Day.
not that. It's not that. So I mean, I think it is like a matter of like going into it with the right mindset. But yeah, fair assessment, definitely.
All right. Anybody have anything else?
Tapped out.
Lord, no.
Let's slap to the main feature.
You like scary movies?
Uh-huh.
What's your favorite scary movie?
I don't know.
You have to have a favorite. What comes to mind?
The uplifting, happy, peppy Slapface.
Dude, I was going to suggest we do this episode together so we could we could have a slap face live on the show.
I would love every second of that.
Right? That would have been awesome.
It's not too late.
True. Smack the COVID out of you.
Just to cuff you with one of these. Oh, man.
First of all, we're not inviting you. I want to be hit with your baby soft hands. I want to feel man hands on my face.
They're soft, but they're large. All right?
What if when we go to slap, but then we stop and do it?
Oh, the caress.
Yes.
Oh, my baby.
The camera pans away.
I'd never hurt you,
the curtains floats.
Somebody else has to synopsize this one.
I'll do it. So there's a pair of brothers. One's probably in his early 20s. Another is, what do you think, 13, 12,
Yeah,
right around there.
about that.
Their parents are dead. They're gone. And the older kid is raising the younger kid. Older kid's a bit of a loser alcoholic. He's got an interesting girlfriend who says she's Wiccan, which always tells you to run the fuck away unless she's the best lay you've ever had in your life. But he keeps her around, and this kid likes to wander around in the woods. I had a kid like that growing up. Those kids are fucking weird. Especially grew up in the Bronx. There really weren't many woods. But yeah, he likes to get beat up by twin bully girls. Kind of secretly date their friend who also bullies the shit out of him. And then in an abandoned hospital. By the way, this is all set in Fishkill, New York, which I spent a lot of time in, where the Hudson Valley Renegades play. I
know the guy who announces that minor league baseball team.
You do?
Yeah.
Get us tickets. So in this abandoned place, he comes across a creature witch kind of thing. And then you hear the song in the back of your head. People talking about my best friend. Da-da-da-dum, da-da-dum, da-da-da-dum, ba-da-da-dum. And they have a grand old time until everything kind of goes south. How about that?
Sounds good.
Good synopsis.
100, since you were kind enough to synopsize them, what did you think?
Yes. Well, first of all, Jason, my wife wants you to know she liked this movie.
I love how in her head I am.
You are so deep in her head, it's ridiculous. It's like every freaking movie now. Well, make sure Jason knows I like this. I'm like, I'm not even talking about this movie with him, so forget it. I watched this movie after a day of heavy drinking, because it was during the ice storm. Wow. Yeah, I know. I had one beer and I can't talk today. But it was during the ice storm or whatever that we had here. So I was like, oh, I'm going to start drinking early. And normally a movie like this, because it's kind of, I hate to call it slow burn. I like to call it like creeping dread kind of movie. Normally this will put me right out. Like I'm snoring midway through. I was not only in for this whole movie, but then I went to watch another movie when it was done because I was kind of amped. Even though this isn't an amp you up kind of movie, I just really wanted to see where it went. It's dark. This would be a great double feature with Super Dark Times. I think these two would make good little companion pieces. I like the complicated relationship between the brothers, because I think from the outside, you can look at it from the outside as, oh, he's abusive and he's a loser, but he really does love him, and this is probably all he knows. And who knows? Maybe this is how the dad and mother taught them, but we don't have their perspective because they're dead. The witch creature was so on the nose. It looked like a Party City mask. But did some cool things.
There's a reason they didn't light it so well.
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. But you know what? I kind of dug this movie. It reminded me of some things from my childhood, which maybe I won't dig that deep into. Maybe this is why I talk about number twos to cover my pain. But I liked it.
How about you, Laurel?
I liked it. I some of the stuff was a little bit hard to suspend disbelief, but not so much necessarily what you think. Like, fuck that sheriff. What a twat. Like,
by the way, speaking of Carla Tortelli, that he played her husband on Cheat.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, and he was the lawyer on the original Addams Family the movie, the one.
Isn't he the general in Commando?
Yes, he is. Like anytime you needed like a gruff douchebag, this guy's all over it. Like I think that's his character role. But like
he's
some
81,
of the stuff,
by the way.
Is he really?
And not moving well.
I mean, doing okay for 81.
I thought he looked pretty good.
I mean, a little bit Weekend at Bernie's, though. Yeah, you're right. He doesn't move very much.
It's funny because after some of the guys we've had on who've done movies, now you can tell we had him for like 2 days. He shot his scenes and was out.
Luckily, they were able to hire Joe Biden's puppeteer to get him moving around.
Yeah.
We just kept saying this shit. It's like, yeah, your brother's a little fuck up. He's not getting out of jail free anymore. Maybe you'd like to take him fishing as you did as a child, since our parents are dead. No. Okay, cool. Thanks for that.
You think maybe he was afraid of the kid?
I don't know. He just I don't know. I have to say the other thing that got me was when it's like, the kid's like they've taken him into custody and he's like, get out of here. It's like, minor child, that's his guardian. No, that's not how that works. But, but overall, like, I think the sheriff was the biggest, and it's not like he really detracted, but I kept making notes about what a douchebag he was. Some of the stuff was just like weird, but I'm not going to say like totally unbelievable that it took me out of it. Like, I don't understand why the girlfriend was just like, hello, I'm your one night stand who's never leaving. That seems weird. Why?
Yeah, really. She was a Wiccan.
Jason.
I liked this movie as well. I don't know that I loved it, but I liked it. There's some weird stuff in this. Every character is a total piece of shit in this movie. like, there's no one to root for. Anytime
right.
somebody... What's that?
You're right. I didn't think about that till now. Everybody is awful.
The only one who seems to have a heart is the one night stand Wiccan woman, but she's so strange. She's just like, oh, I had sex with you. Now I'm your wife and your brother's mom, and I'm just gonna cook breakfast and take. I'm like, who are you?
I'll continue drying the dishes after you verbally assault me.
She was the what do you call it? The leapfrogger or whatever from I See You.
Oh yeah, frogging. I think that
frogging.
She was also in Sneaky Pete.
Yeah, not that she did a bad job. I did not understand her character though. She was very strange. But everyone else in this is kind of a piece of shit. So it makes it a little hard to really root for anyone when you're just like, man, it's dark, which, I kind of like. So there was a lot of good. There was a lot of bad. More I can talk about in spoilers, but yeah, I mean, I thought it was well made. Maybe drug a couple points. There's a post-bath scene that was, yeah.
I wanted to see more in the bath.
Yeah. The bath and then the post bath. I was like, what is happening in this movie right now?
I have the Steelbook extended cut. It's got all that.
Oh, okay, cool.
Good.
So,
thank God.
I liked it. I don't think I loved it, but I liked it.
Yeah, I'm kind of on the same page as you, Jason. I first of all, I can't believe the kid from Spy Kids is still that young looking. Because
does he look just like him?
He looks just like the kid from Spy Kids.
Oh, I was gonna say, that was a really long time ago.
It's in steady rotation in Jack's whole single man house.
The movie is pretty dark, and I don't think that once again a name that doesn't really justify the movie or doesn't sell it well.
Yeah, I don't like the title.
Slapface. I was expecting more of like the movie about the app that you were talking about. It sounds like more like a mainstream PG-13, summer released horror movie that we roll our eyes at, and then when you get there, like, oh no, this is like a dark character study.
By the way, the game of Slapface. It looked like he really rocked that kid several times.
Did accept no one's cheeks were ever reddened at all.
After the kid wrecked the whole house, his face was like a shiny apple, at least for a little while. But
was that when he got the beer to put on it?
No, that was early on.
Yeah, that was early.
Okay.
This was the post-bath, house trashing scene.
A little bacchanalia.
I thought some of the stuff with the creature was pretty cool, though, because for a low-budget creature, it was definitely good, wicked, witchy, creepy wood stuff. And I definitely have some questions for everybody when we get into spoilers. But I think for a Shudder movie, it was a good watch. It's not one of those ones that like really, made an impact on me. But I thought there was a lot to like, and but not like make the end of the year list. But
I suspect this movie has a big impact for people who are impacted by bullies.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of bullying in this movie.
Yeah, in fact, at the end, there's a whole thing about bullying at the very end. I was like,
yeah, I did not like PSA at the end, but those sisters,
you think the movie was enough, right?
Yeah, I saw the movie. I know, I understand bullying's bad. Those sisters, Holy crap, man! They should be in a maximum security prison. They are terrible people.
They are. So's the girlfriend.
Oh yeah, Mariah. Yeah, she's
I know.
almost worse because she's the one who lures him there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you can see that she's. I mean, she's not necessarily worse because she's also in a poor position, but that's just really. That's some pretty two-faced, you know.
Dude,
Yeah.
she spit on him.
I know.
I know.
And
And it was like, I'm sorry. No.
No one cares. It doesn't matter. That makes it worse.
Yeah.
Ugh. Yeah, they were awful.
Just every time they were on screen, I was like, "Mother of God, these twins are killing me." They're so.
When I was in middle school, though, there were these two girls. Like I feel like I connected with it a little bit because there were these two girls, both named Sarah, neither of which were, they weren't twins or anything. They weren't related. But it was one of those things where they had this very like tight like friendship. And for a minute, I was like their third. But I was also like, you guys are bitches. Like, this is awful. I don't want to be your friend. So that was fairly short lived. But like when I never bullied anybody, on their behalf or anything. But I was a very quiet kid. So I probably sat by on some stuff that honestly, I probably didn't connect what was going on.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was just like, ugh, yeah, that's kind of wretched.
Hey,
I think
I
one of
was
the
played by Dawn Avignon when I was 10 years old. That girl
Dawn
made my life.
Avignon?
Yeah, she made my life miserable until I beat the shit out of her in front of my mother. We're
Well
talking
done.
10. Beat the shit is just like, a slap. I might be like hit her back when she turned away or whatever, but that ended it until her brother made me eat worms like weeks later. He was like 17.
Was it worth it though to get the little slap in? I feel like it'd be a little bit worth it.
It was, and I remember my mother was pissed at me and pulled me by the hair, but she hurt me worse than I hurt that girl. And when I went inside, I told my dad what happened. He goes, "That girl has been bullying you?" I'm like, "Yeah." He goes, "Go inside and have a slice of cheese and just sit down and calm down." Never forget that. Eat a slice of fucking cheese.
Have a slice of calming cheese.
Yeah, it's a Kraft single. Just sit there and eat that Kraft single and calm down. I'll deal with your mother.
Oh, that's the punishment. Eat the American slice of Kraft single.
Exactly.
No, please stop.
Hunter went on to become the Kraft single killer, famous in Yonkers area. They'd find the wrapper from the cheese.
You look like a bully.
Calm down.
I'll take
Somebody
you
write
down.
this. Somebody write this.
I think the older brother, I think that was well written and well acted because he was a terrible guardian or whatever for his younger brother, but life has dealt him a bad hand, and so he's trying to deal with it himself. So it's a person who doesn't have his own stuff together, also trying to take care of a kid, and he's just not equipped to do it. So that whole tragedy of their life was that part was well played.
I agree. I like you can see his
very distracted by the strip show in reverse that was going on.
I'm cold. It's fucking freezing up here.
He's dressed like a steward's.
This is my daughter's like St. Patrick's Day.
He like shrugs into it.
You look like a bottle of Stewart's cream soda.
Huh? There we go. Okay.
Just from the top, I thought you were going to be working a fryer or something at a diner.
This is my daughter's St. Patrick's Day drinking shirt.
Of course. That's why you have it.
This is a silly episode. It's ridiculous.
I agree.
It's up
Jack,
here.
Brother.
I just grabbed this closest thing I could find. There's clothes everywhere up here. There's stuff.
Okay, we get it.
I agree, Jack the brother. I actually like that we could see his decline through the movie. There was a point around the middle where he's just chugging a beer as the guys come to pick him up first thing in the morning. Like we're actually seeing him hit rock bottom and him slapping the shit out of his brothers. It's like this weird love-hate punishment thing he's doing to him. And we lost Slapface, so there's that. Wow. So anyway,
Sure.
I like the brothers part a lot. I actually liked all the acting in this. I thought, the writing was pretty good and everything. Just what's going on with the bath?
I have concerns about the bath.
All right,
He's back.
now we have 2 Hunter windows.
2 fat faces.
I was waiting for it to load though. Like, who would be there when it?
So, that spirit behind me.
All right, are we ready for the spoiler bell?
Yes.
Do it.
Okay, I have a question for everybody.
Yeah.
Was this an actual witch, or was this the kid doing the?
Oh, it's the kid.
I wondered the same thing, except for the police station thing when he just like murders people in the police station. How did he do that?
Because he's little John Wick.
Oh, okay. Well, never
Oh,
mind.
that's
You
fine.
didn't get that?
See, that was my thing too with like the end where it's like they come to capture him. Like he's like 70 pounds soaking wet. You think he busted out of there, murdered everyone, and like got out and went home? I don't know. That kind of
Beat the
I love
brakes
it.
off his brother, like beat him to
Yeah.
death.
He does have
Yeah.
rage. They
Also,
did
that
mention
one slap to poor Mariah, like the death slap, the one death slap. What is that?
Well, didn't he have
Yeah.
a rock in his hand?
Yeah, it was a rock. So that could happen.
Yeah.
By the
he
way,
just death slapped her.
I want to learn how to do the death slap. I want to be like the dangerous.
You ever see those Russian slap fights they
Yeah.
do where they stand at the table?
I'd lost
I
an
love when he
afternoon
punched
to-
that girl.
You start
That
watching
shouldn't be a
that.
thing, but he punched the bully in the face. My
That was
wife
nice.
was like so excited.
Oh yeah, he cracked her. That's right.
It's a good
Yeah.
moment.
She earned it.
What were you gonna say, Jack?
Nothing. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
What else for spoilers? That was my big question. I think that they leave it enough for you to consider that it's him. I don't think they definitively tell you, or maybe I just didn't pick it up enough. But
I don't know. I could hear arguments either way. I was all on board with this is in his head until the police station thing. Then I was like, wait a minute, is this for real?
Yeah.
Because there are a lot of dead cops in there.
maybe it was Malignant.
Oh,
That'd be
that's
amazing.
that's a good thought. Yeah, it was
Slapface versus Malignant. That's the crossover I want to see.
who was growing on his back.
Chad, you don't accept supernatural in any format, so I don't know. I'm not sure
Yeah.
that you're.
Lutsky's going with
nice.
he turns into John Wick at the end.
I think it could be it. I like that idea better, and Chad would like it better too. Again, damaged people doing damaging things.
Interplay between damaged people.
But that's how I took it at the very end. Unless the witch made herself up and disappear, which is possible. But maybe the witch looks so bad because it was in his head. I was like, that's how a witch should be in a boy's head.
Yeah,
but, like,
good.
It's concerning for me, like the lighting, like because I was just like, am I literally going blind? I have concerns. Like I have shit vision, anyways, and like the world is fading. It's going black. Like we're done here. I don't know if that was just me. But then when you said something about they didn't light her well, I was like, okay, that's good at least. Maybe it's not just me.
Yeah. And when the light did hit, you were like, oh, big crooked nose and like.
Is the nose why everyone calls this a witch? Because I was even thinking of it as a witch, but it's like 8 feet tall and has giant hands. And the body seems to be a dude, but then the face, I just kept
Do
reminding
you
me
see
of like a
the
witch
movie
mask.
poster though? It's the movie poster. It's like an old woman in a cloak.
Oh no!
Yeah, we would have learned more if we saw more in the bath, but it didn't. It chose not to go that
when
far.
the shroud came off.
Yeah, it'd be cool if she had like a kicking body, like Pam Anderson underneath all.
8 foot tall Pam Anderson climbs in the bathtub.
Yeah, with a big ugly witch face.
Which, if you're
and
not
man
watching
hands.
the Pam and Tommy thing on Hulu, you should watch it. It's great.
Is it a movie or a series?
It's a series.
Oh Christ, no!
It's good.
That'd be
I saw
so
the real
weird.
Pam and Tommy's.
It's gonna be so weird to be Pam Anderson. And like, oh look, there's a show about me on.
There's a show about my sex tape getting released.
Yeah,
You can they say it. It's good. I watched the first 3 episodes.
wow, 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 wow.
Any
yeah,
input on her nipples, Jack? Nipple judgment?
I forget the girl's name who plays her. Wears a chest plate, so it's actually
Oh, fake,
fake boobs, but they look
like a
real.
merkin.
They look like real fake boobs.
She's got a boob merkin. That's interesting.
And Tommy Lee's most famous feature is handled spectacularly.
Handled so well.
Handled.
I don't want to
Glad
give
someone
away.
handled it so well.
It's hilarious. It's hilarious.
That's the best word you could have used there. Speaking of handled weirdly, the bath scene. I want to go back to the bath scene. So they get out of the bath and putting on the garb and what's the belt thing? Like what is all that shit?
Toys and shit. It looks
ties it around her waist. I'm like, what am I watching right now? Like what?
It's like a moment of intimacy, right? It's like, it's like, oh, let me do that for you. Like, let me zip your evening gown. I don't know.
But she is him because Chad brought it up. Remember when the kid's getting slapped and her head is jerking just at the same time the kid's face is jerking from getting slapped?
Yeah. So I totally agree. I was all on board with it being in his head at that point. It was just like I said, it was just the cop scene. I was like, wait a minute.
I wish that they had played I Love You Just the Way You Are while the bath scene was happening. Don't go changing.
Jack is available for consultation for all movie scores and tracks.
God help us all.
Yes, Mike, you're right. Did anyone happen to see the witch's nipples? Do we have anything?
No, I was looking. The funny thing was, my wife at one point, because when the witch was in the house with him, she said, that house is going to reek. That witch looks so disgusting. Like, that smell's never going to get out. And then she took the bath. I was like, problem solved, honey. It's just going to smell like Mr. Bubble. It's all good.
Backing up, so why on earth the older brother's taking a bath with his clothes on? What is that?
Well, that's drunk.
Yeah. I think we were about 10 Coors Lights deep.
You've never done that, Laurel?
I haven't.
Just from a movie perspective, whenever the older brother gets picked up by the pickup truck, I was looking at the other guys in the pickup truck, and they all just sitting perfectly still. One guy like high fives them, but they're like, "Don't look at the camera! Don't look at the camera!" Just
and we're not paying you. And when the truck took off, I kept expecting the guy sitting in the back to just flip off.
Oh, totally.
It's not actually easy to keep your balance.
No. I thought the same thing. I was like, I guess the work site is right down the road because when I was little, we would ride in the back of a truck for half a mile, a couple houses down, not to work. That's not.
But also, I was sitting in the bed of the truck.
Yeah,
like I was absolutely not perching on the edge. Like,
I'm not going to hold on to anything. I'm just going to sit on the back
because it's just there's no way they're not going to. No. That's how they lose. That's how that guy got the job, though. The last guy fell right off the fucking
So yeah, this is a great movie to watch over and over again, I think.
Feel good movie of the year. This and Antlers.
If you're feeling down, put the sucker in.
Pop Relic in after this.
I always think of the 90s Relic though. Yeah. The one with Tom Sizemore.
That's not crushingly depressing.
I love that. I love that Relic with the creature and the
Me too.
That's amazing. I love
Is it down in the subway or something?
Yes.
It's
or the museum.
It's a museum. It's a museum. And there's like a big ship that it came in on.
Yeah.
Okay. I haven't seen that since the 90s. Maybe I should check it out again.
It's good.
It's fun. I probably saw that in the theater like 5 times because back then they got movies in the theater for like 2 months or something.
Yep. I remember those days. Wow. And it was only a nickel to go see a feature.
All right, that does it for Slapface. Any parting thoughts before we leave?
I've said too much tonight.
Worth a watch. Definitely worth a watch.
Yeah,
it's worth a watch. But I gotta say, if you are a one-night stand, I strongly suggest you piss off the next day. And
don't mother the younger brother.
Don't mother the younger, and certainly don't. Just the kind of like arguments she was getting in about that. Like, I'm a stepmom. That shit didn't come up till like a good 2-3 years into the relationship. Like,
yeah,
not 4 hours.
No,
she was.
I had nothing to say. No.
Yeah,
actually, I didn't know he had a kid at first. Like he said something like 3 hours into the date, and I was like, but it was good. So there was another date. But yeah, no, 4 hours in, absolutely not. I'm not gonna say. Not realistic.
That's good parenting advice.
He kept kicking her out. She kept coming back. Like, what are you doing?
That's fucking weird.
We've all dated those girls. Come on. We all have one in our past.
I'm assuming. Well, I don't know.
I probably with him.
Can't say I ever had the Wiccan one night stand new mom date.
Never left.
I had a
Not that
Wiccan.
exact one.
I met a Wiccan. I said, sorry, I prefer a sandwich.
All right. We're going to the Catskills.
All right. Laurel, thanks. We'll
Wow.
probably see you again in a couple of weeks.
Absolutely.
Yes,
Thanks,
classes join up. Stop talking about poop the next time. Jesus Christ.
Watch a couple of movies, take a couple of number twos, and we'll see you soon.
Bye.
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 Buddy.